Hello. Another update for Rabbit Art. I've just extended the level a little bit further so you can actually reach the old man's tower now. So this is the grey block stage 1 done for the puzzle bridge. I'm just going to try and run through it. I've implemented a couple of other features. As you probably saw in the first video, I was struggling to get across here. So were numerous people that actually tested. And as this is the tutorial stage, it needed to be a little bit easier, so I've thrown in a couple more of these stepping stones temporarily. As I said previously, this will probably be replaced by some debris in the water, so you can just hop across. Additionally, because I kept failing last time, I've also implemented a restart feature. So as soon as the character dies, it waits for a second, then it respawns right at the start point. I'm going to have a discussion with Gareth probably over the next week about whether we should implement checkpoint features. I think they are handy, however it kind of defeats the object of the complexity of this bridge. If you are able to hit checkpoints. So, I'll get started and I'll talk you through it as I go, providing I can make it to the end, of course. Okay, onto here, onto here. Oof, a little bit too far. Yeah, additionally, because of the difficulty of getting over this, I've also implemented the double jump feature. And luckily, when I got one of my students, Jason Pook, thank you very much, to not double jump there and I'll get across. When Jason tested this game, he found out if you spammed the spacebar, you could effectively make the character fly. So I did a bit of work on this last night and stopped that feature happening. So you can now double jump, but you cannot fly. I'll show you. I'll show you how that was set up as well. I've got these additional trigger pads which are making pulls fall over throughout the level, which kind of block your path if you're not quick enough, partially. Oh, look. Okay, another try straight across. It's always the case in as soon as you start recording something, that's when you start messing up, and to be honest, I'll just end up re-recording over and over and over again, so I'm just going to stick with it. Yeah, I get a little bit impatient with it. I think my next task will be to work on the actual character. Not the character herself, but the way that she's controlled. It's a little bit tricky. Makes it difficult to play the game. So, I think this time I'll go this way, up these stairs. Now, as you can see, we've extended the platforms out into other areas, so we can place little pickups. If I use her right hand to point at things, we can have a pickup over here somewhere on this broken beam. You can actually jump that from here, but it's risky. Alternatively, as I'd said previously, you can just get to the end of here and you can drop off this platform, which will enable you to walk right around. Continuing along the path, I think she rotates maybe a little bit too quickly with the mouse button, mouse rotation, sorry, so that's one of the things I'll work on correcting. The other next thing I've implemented is like this platform over to the right, which is high up. It's still too high for you to be able to jump on from this point. I know this through testing, so I'm not going to try it now because I'll fall in the water and die and I'll have to start over. But there'd be another pickup there that you'd visually see as soon as you set off down this path that you need to collect. So from there we come across here, Okay. I've also just added a little colour feature onto these pressure pads for the testing purpose, so you know where they are. As you can see, there's another one over there in the distance, just above our head. So when we step on this one, the bridge is still twitching out a little bit and doing a double flip. The way you've come has just collapsed. Is that going to fall? Yeah. Okay, but now obviously the bridge has dropped down, so we can carry on going here. This is another area we usually end up falling. There we go. So now you would come up here to get around to that point you saw earlier on with the pickup just before the bridge collapsed, and walk along. These trigger pads would all be invisible in the real game, and when you step on that one, that basically collapses that bridge behind you instantaneously, so you cannot go back the way you've come. So you do have to walk all the way around to collect your pickup from the end of here. Okay. Oh, look what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to cheat a little bit. If it'll let me. I'm not sure why, but for some reason when I've right click to play from here on some platforms, it spawns me under the platform. Okay, carrying on. Right to the end. Oh, there's a pole there. And this is why we test with a grey block. So that needs removing. Get myself back around it. Over there. Up that plank, down here, across the wooden plank, up the stairs. I'm going to just fence off this right hand side of the bridge to stop you dropping directly over into the old man's hut. So if we just travel down these stairs, go under the bridge, you can then get inside, and you can see now there is a flight of stairs in here. Okay, so let's go and head up these stairs. Takes you right to the top of the old man's perch, I suppose. You can look back over the level you've just done. And that's pretty much it. So, I'll just quickly run over a couple of the features. You'll notice the softer shadows, I've implemented indirect global illumination, just to make the lighting look a lot nicer. I'm currently in the process of trying to create a day and night cycle. It's proven a bit problematic at the moment. It's very, very easy to set up, but for some reason when I do it, I'm getting errors on the original skybox in place to make the sun move. So I'm not quite sure what that's about, but we'll see in time what's causing it. I've got another one coming through the wood there, look. So there's a couple of things that need fixing. I've also, as I've mentioned, I've created a restart feature, so if you die, it spawns you back at the beginning. So I'd have to keep exiting. Let's see what else we've got underway. Level blueprint. Let's get rid of those. And shut that and that. I'll make that larger. Okay. This bottom section here, that's not in its own comment box. This is just something I'm currently working on to have various elements in the stage fall over. It will get tidied up through an array in good time, but for now this is just a basic simple way I've set it up. So just so I can do one after the other. I've got my on hack to hit, which is the trigger pad, plugged into a sequence, and then you just add your different sequences one after the other, which are then plugged into a delay, so I can set the first one to happen after 1 second, the second one is 3 seconds, the third one 6 seconds. So as soon as it fires off, it goes 1, does that one, 2, 3, does that one, 4, 5, 6, does this one. Okay. That function's waking up the rigid body. These rigid bodies are destructible meshes, which is referenced here. So the rigid bodies, the pose target is a destructible component plugged into the rigid body. That then gets the location of the actor, which we apply hair origin to, and a damage radius so it can affect the other destructibles around it. Okay, and then it's just repeated over, but with a different static mesh and a different static mesh, fractured mesh. Sorry. Okay. What else have we done? That's the function for destroying the mesh where the bridges are, what you come across, all in one go. So we've got an on hack to hit, which then plugs into a sequence. The reason it plugs into a sequence originally is so that I could lower the drawbridge, but that doesn't seem to be there anymore. Oh, it's up here. Sorry. On hack to hit plugs us into a sequence. On action 1, it delays for 3.2 seconds and then enters a for loop. The for loop basically gathers an array of objects and pushes them in there one after the other until it's read all of them. Okay, so these are the destructible meshes for the bridge, all 6 of them. These are plugged into a make array. The make array is then plugged up into that for loop so it can read through each of the items. The array elements are then dragged out into a get actor location so it can trigger a location for each element, which is then plugged in to the hair origin. Okay. Additionally, all of these static meshes are also, aside from the array, plugged into the target of the apply radius damage, and then set to 5 again so they can affect each other. Then I've got it set so that my second sequence is the bridge lowering. I should have really fired these off the other way around, but it doesn't really matter. It just makes more logical sense. This one's not on a delay, so it happens straight away. That's why I say you should just say that first. This is basically bridge timeline. Okay. And within here, we update the function to set the actor's rotation for the target of bridge. Okay, if we give it a bridge up amount of rotation, so down here you can see bridge up variable's got a pitch set to 90, bridge down variable has got, oh, why is that set to 180? Has got a pitch set to 182. Okay, so that's set into a linear interpolate rotator, or a layper rot, set up to channel A and B, and that then returns values into the set actor rotation, which allows us to animate the bridge from being vertically up to lowered down. I'm just going to compile all that again for some reason. And finally, I will show you nice simple restart on death. Kill volume under the level, set a delay to 1 second, and then open the level. Nothing complicated about that whatsoever. When you hit the kill volume, it kills you, wait for 1 second, start the game. Okay. Just going to shut this one down, and finally just pull out the character blueprint, which is also in a bit of a mess at the minute. Okay, just to show off this double jump feature. So basically what I've done here is the input action for jump, which is previously set. Okay, and says do n. Right. When it lands, it resets the do n, so it can start over again. This do n switches its integer between two elements. The first act it can do is jump. The second act it can do is launch its z velocity. I've set this to 360, so you can change that. So that's 360 because my jump height is 360. You can actually set this to anything you like, but I've done it as a exact copy value because it makes sense that she's jumping the same height twice. And that's basically it, because you've limited this down here on a do number of times twice. Yeah, it can only run these two functions and then nothing else happens. Now I previously had this set differently, so I had a gate here, but that meant obviously that you could just spam the spacebar and it just keep firing off this launch character. So you jump once into the air, then while you're in there you just spam the spacebar over and over and over and you just keep launching upwards. This way it stops that happening. Okay, I don't think there's anything more fancy anywhere in there, so I'm going to call that it, and I'll fix a few more elements in the level. Be back with another video soon. Thanks for watching.